The city of Harrisburg is for sale.
1,500 bid now, 2,000. Yep. 2,000, 2,250 now. 2,250 is next.
Or at least some of the junk in its attic is. Hard up for cash, the Pennsylvania capital city held an auction last week to raise money to pay some of its bills. The objects up for bid, millions of dollars worth of historical artifacts, mostly from the 19th century American West. Many of the attendees at the auction had the same question.
First of all, we're not in the West. You know, we don't have the Lone Ranger out here. We didn't have, Custer's Last Stand. That was where? In the West, not here. So what in the world is this stuff doing here?
Well, that's a funny story. Former Harrisburg Mayor Stephen Reed, who ruled the city for nearly 3 decades from 1981 until 2010, had a penchant for collecting. He hoped to build a museum in Harrisburg celebrating the westward expansion of the nation.
Had he the chance and the opportunity to continue this and show all these things that I'm looking at, it would have been a great success.
Jeff Hengisbaugh is a collector from New Mexico who sold Reed some of the artifacts back in the 1990s. This week, he was back in town to see what he could buy back from the city.
Because if there's one common denominator in all American people, it's adventure. And you guys back east have that adventure, and what the mayor wanted to do is surround the other part of the United States and bring that to them, the American West. That would be expansion, Davy Crockett onward. And
all that may have sounded good in theory, but Reed spent millions of dollars of city funds that were supposed to be used to rebuild water and sewer lines to buy those artifacts. And then the museum never got built. So for years, the artifacts collected dust in a city-owned warehouse while pipes went unrepaired. Now, Harrisburg has a problem with sinkholes, including some, like this one, that are big enough to shut down entire blocks. But the Wild West collection is impressive in size and scope, everything from wagon wheels to paintings to antique firearms and whatever the heck this is. But it was costly, too. Harrisburg spent more than $8 million on the collection. And even though some of the items were truly valuable, a set of guns once owned by Teddy Roosevelt went for more than $75,000 at the auction last week. But the city brought in just about $3 million overall from the fire sale.
It's really, truly sad that it's ended up what it has. I feel sorry for the city to some extent. It's very limited sympathy. Sure. When you hit your thumb with a hammer, there's nobody else to blame.
At a time when cities everywhere are facing economic hardship, Harrisburg's ill-fated Wild West Museum is a striking, if somewhat humorous, example of municipal waste. For Watchdog.org, I'm Eric Boehm.